10-year-old is arrested after stomping on a baby to death, and this is what the father has to say.
As opposed to seeing it as a 10-year-old girl, I seen it as the person who killed my son. And she, in my opinion, deserved to be in shackles or handcuffs. She's a criminal.
Jackson and the 10-year-old girl were dropped off at a daycare, Wisconsin. So this is what happened. The 10-year-old girl said that she was carrying the 6-month-old baby Jackson when accidentally the baby fell on the floor, and when Jackson started crying, she panicked and she started stomping on the baby. Shortly after, Jackson was not responsive and they took Jackson to the hospital. And the baby seemed to be okay then, but then his head started swelling and it looks like he was not going to make it. They did let the father know later that Jackson was not going to make it, and he died on November 1st. The part that's really sad about all this case is that baby Jackson did not get justice because the judge found that the 10-year-old girl was incompetent to be in trial. The 10-year-old girl was being tried as an adult. The Dunn County Judge James Peterson's ruling the little girl incompetent meant that the homicide case against the little girl was going to be suspended indefinitely. A couple psychologists did tests on the 10-year-old girl and said that the little girl was suffering post-traumatic stress disorder and disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. And the other thing is that she was not going to be living with her parents this whole time, but her parents were going to have to go visit her in like a type of shelter, and she was in shackles while she's getting visitations from her parents, and she was going to be away from her parents for a whole year so she could get treated. I will let you see a small clip of the mother and what she had to say about her daughter.
It's not what it seems. There's no way that it was done in any type of intentional way.
Do you remember anything she said to you?
That it was an accident. And you know what? I believe my daughter.
His mom says she has compassion for baby Jackson's family, but just wants her daughter back home.
It's a sad story all the way around, and not just one family suffering, but there's two.
I don't know how to feel about this case. Like, the family, I feel sorry for the 10-year-old, but at the same time, I could totally understand how the father and Jackson's family feels. And she is 10 years old, but I don't know how to feel. Anyway, how do you feel about this case? Claims are being said that the mom tried to get help for the 10-year-old girl for a long time, but they did not want to take her in because they said that she was 10 years old and she had to wait till she was 12. And the daycare that they were staying at was like a government-funded daycare, and they knew that she possibly had a mental disorder. But I don't know how to feel about this. I feel like Jackson didn't get justice. I don't know who to blame, whose fault it is, but it makes me feel uneasy. How do you feel? What do you think about this case?